DC's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. DC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Rubik.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lone Druid.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Enigma.
DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Abyssal Underlord.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hear me?
DC's turn to ban.
I think. I mean, maybe a little bit. I think bo2 has a very strong personality, or has at least been known to be that way. So I think I'll have at least a little bit of an influence. And he's always been good friends with EE,
10
and
seconds
a little
remaining.
less so I think with Aoi and the rest of the gang. But you know, EE and bo2 played together for a
5
long time, so I
seconds
think
remaining.
he'll have at least a little bit of an influence, and maybe more as Cetus. You know, have a pretty strong personality.
Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. DC's turn to ban.
I mean, it could just be the way they match up against those teams. They didn't play either of them in ESL Genting. I don't think either of them were there. And DC, a team that's also reasonably inconsistent. They have some really, really top tier
10
results that won
seconds
ESL
remaining.
Genting, second place at TI, obviously. And then they have other tournaments where they kind
5
of ball out
seconds
like
remaining.
they did with the most recent one. So I think DC can be inconsistent
Reserve
from tournament to
time.
tournament, but they're either really cold for a tournament, they're really, really hot. So we'll have to see how they do in the StarLadder.
Oh.
Radiant team pick.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think the hero is not that hard to play around, or you need a specific team to play him. He's just, in general, a very good hero. He's extremely good lane push, unbelievably good at defending towers. And also scales well into the late game,
10
which is
seconds
an issue a lot of offliners have. Is sometimes they'll fall behind, won't do the
5
most late game unless
seconds
there's some sort of a
remaining.
blink stun, some sort of a slaughter axe, whatever. Underlord doesn't have the typical stun
Reserve
that an
time.
offliner has. He has a root, which is close, but with the atrophy aura and then the ults always being able to, like you said, go and hit the racks and then just pour it out and get out of any sticky situation. Like as the game goes later and later and the delay goes shorter and shorter whenever you get to the level 3 ults. So yeah, Underlord's just a really strong hero. I don't think you need a specific team to play around him. Just a very good hero.
Winter Wyvern.
DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
I mean, it's pretty early on. NP obviously
5 seconds
really getting on board the
remaining.
Lone Druid range farm hype train, as well as sort of taking the strategies that
Reserve time.
EG was using, which is pairing it up with the Enigma. It gives you a big team fight ultimate to sort of make space for the Lone Druid to be mock sniper. It gives you really strong team fight. It also forces the other team to pick accordingly. You have to pick disables for the Enigma, and then you also need something to jump the Lone Druid or something to deal with him in some sort. So I'm kind of curious what answer DC has for this Lone Druid. I don't know if they expect them to take it in the first phase. They were planning on banning it in the second, but this hero is starting to become extremely popular. So they have a lot of
Radiant
tower push
team
already. So
pick.
maybe looking to punish it early, as NP supports are pretty weak with low levels. Enigma, like you said, maybe an offlane. I would say probably an offlane. As Winter Wyvern Enigma, those supports are not the greatest.
10
So
seconds
DC looking to
remaining.
punish NP
Crystal
early,
Maiden.
looks like so far. Yeah, as it is going to be the offline Enigma.
DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I think it's almost definitely one position. Haven't really seen anybody in the competitive scene
Reserve
run it mid. There have
time.
been some smaller random teams that will mess around with it mid, but most teams will run him in the safe lane. He can be viable mid, but I do believe that's also an AoE hero. E really hasn't been picking him in pubs, and typically, if NP is going to be picking a hero for E, it'll either have been one of his classics or a hero that he spammed in pubs, and also AoE's been picking in pubs. He also, I think, AOI is one of the few players that likes to go Helm of the Dominator on Lone Druid,
10.
The sack.
because you do get the
Radiant
Savage
team
Roar,
ban.
or no, not Savage Roar, whatever the ability is whenever you go into True Form, the one that makes you and your bear do more damage. It goes onto your HOD creep as well, so that combined with you and the bear and like all the items stuff, like you can take towers extremely quickly
10
with the HOD
seconds
creep.
remaining.
So I think he may actually go for that this game. I think he's experimented with it.
5 seconds
So let's see if he goes for that or goes for the. Yeah, I'll have to see if
Reserve time.
he goes for that or if he goes for the average stuff. I mean, he was Grandmaster in StarCraft. He always been a Visage player, Chen player, So he definitely has, and Lone Druid also not a very difficult hero to micro. Same with HOD creeps. A lot of times you're just kind of M-clicking it on yourself or A-clicking it down lanes. So not the most micro-intensive hero for sure, and now he definitely has the skill to do that small amount of micro. But DC hitting the Lesh now, so sort of going more and more in on that push. It looks like it's going to be the Weehaw Lesh, so we'll see what NP picks to line up against that, but it looks like that's how they're gonna deal with this Lone Druid's Enigma, the super strong team fight, especially with the Winter Wyvern as well. It's just so many big ultimates to buy space for this Lone Druid to get a bazillion right clicks in. DC looking to take it to them early. They may do some sort of a dual offlane with Underlord and Jakiro, which is super strong, and Lone Druid Crystal Maid may have some issues dealing with that. Rubik, and then looking to last pick their carry for the safe lane. So DC has a lot of tower push, and NP may have some issues dealing with that if their lanes don't go really well.
DC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I don't think they're going to go something like a Pugna safe lane. I think they will go, just a typical. Okay, yeah. So they go for the Gyrocopter, a more aggressive hero. Has the bonus range from the flak cannon, so whenever you hit the units, the others flak out in a 1,000 radius. So you're able to actually hit this Lone Druid. Very good versus the Winter Wyvern because you don't really care about the Cold Embrace. Runs at a lot of these heroes can be really strong versus Enigma in the offlane as well. The Rubik Gyrocopter. This Enigma's going to have some serious issues once Gyro gets a couple of levels. He's going to have to go to the jungle pretty early on, probably. And also, Winter Wyvern Crystal Maid, very squishy support. So heroes like Gyrocopter isn't going to get massively punished by, isn't going to get nuked down as he often gets massively punished by heroes like Slaughter and a lot of right clickers, but not much of that on NP in the last pick, Alk. So I like this Alchemist pick a lot. It gives them some D push. Lestrak, not the greatest hero at bullying early on in lane. The Alchemist will have to be careful around level 5 or so, and the Lesh gets more points up in the Edict. So maybe it'll threaten a kill there, but until that point, and once Alchemist 6, obviously he just goes and farms. But it's going to be kind of a timing game. If this Alchemist can get online, get to the Radiance, get up to like some core items, and start splitting the map, along with the Lone Druid, I think they will be able to win these team fights. But DC's early game is like really, really strong. I think a lot of it is going to come down to how these lanes play out and like how this mid lane goes, if we can outplay the Alchemist or not.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I don't think there's a particular player just in general that's gonna have a huge impact. I think it's more based around the drafts. I think MSS having a good start in the offlane, trying to get to a quick mech so they can get to a point where they can actually fight them, because there's going to be a key timing where if DC has a mech on Moomiander and they start 5-manning down these towers with Lesh, with Jakiro, and NP doesn't have a Radiance, have a mech, then they're just not going to be able to contest these towers. And Winter Wyvern's going to sit there and he's going to spam them down, but that's not really going to be enough. Combined with the mech and just being able to zone this Winter Wyvern off the tower as well. So I think DC is going to have like a really, really strong early timing, and if NP's lanes don't go extremely well and they get to the point where they actually have enough items to fight, then this could go sour very quickly for them. I don't think you necessarily need catch versus alchemist. One of the best things versus really greedy farmers like that is to take their towers, take map control early on, and you can just slowly squeeze the life out of them, and they aren't able to get up to those core items they normally that they need to thrive, which is exactly what DC's lineup does. And they may have even did the alchemist coming or something. But you know, DC. Back when the patch when Alchemist was super popular, picked Alchemist a whole lot. We have very good on it, so they definitely understand how to play around it and understand that you need to take these towers, squeeze out his map, and also very good at contesting the jungle stacks at just the right times, killing him in his jungle, taking his bounty runes, making life really miserable for this Alchemist. We'll see. I think Jakir. So it looks like he is laning top. I thought they may have put him bottom, but it looks like they are going to. Well, we'll see if have to see how these lanes play out. But is the spectating glitch free? Because I'm stuck in Sox's player perspective, and I'm dropping frames really hard. I DC to drum back in, but I'm still stuck in his player perspective. All right, I'm gonna restart Dota.
Thirty seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Alright, I'm free. Yeah, I'm good. Alright. They are sick. Alright, so they're gonna leave Moon solo versus Aoi and SVG. Like we said before, Lone Druid CM, not the strongest duel in the world, but Moon did start with the Calling Blade, so it looks like he's not super interested in messing with this lane early on, so he's gonna jungle these couple of camps, just cut all the trees down. So should get a decent amount of levels. Underlord, not the worst jungler in the world, also not the best. But we'll do good enough, and we'll get enough levels to whenever they want to start pressuring this bottom tower, can it come over and just firestorm it down. So.
No way!
Yeah, it's very common to have one support sit mid and pressure the Alchemist, or you know, vice versa, give the Alchemist space. And either one of DC supports really well suited to pressuring the Alchemist level 1. Also, you know, not a great kill combo with a Jakiro and a Rubik at level 1. So Alka's gonna have a nice first wave. Did have to share XP with the Winter Wyvern, so his level 6 gonna be slightly delayed. Not too bad. Having some issues last hitting other towers. Some of the creeps got into wacky HP ranges. So Envy having a nice start here. Definitely happy with how the mid games or with the mid lanes going so far. As this Alchemist definitely needs to have a good start to have any success in this game. Yeah, this ancient pull thing is really clowny. I don't think it should exist, but DC taking advantage of it, and it's really annoying. It forces Rose to be here, like you said, not getting XP on the map, really not helping the Alchemist mid, and you know, just not really having the biggest impact on the map. So very nice strat from DC. Has the ward there, so it's able to stand on the low ground and pull it back. is going to continue to just screw around with his alchemist, take his creeps away. Yeah, and there goes another wave. Yeah, it's going to slow down the alchemist level 6 massively. He's already rotating around trying to get this kill in misery. Yeah, it doesn't have the boots yet, so wasn't able to get that right click in. Misery did have the boots, so able to just slightly outrun him. Misery, when we enter, actually getting a reasonable amount of XP down bottom. Jungled for his poor man's shield. And then Soxa sort of took over this area of the map as he continues to do these pulls. Just shoving in this bottom lane, getting as much as he can. Has 10 CS so far, so not doing too bad. Zowie only at 14, so Moon Meander actually doing quite well, although some of those are jungle creeps, but almost up to level 4 now. That's Yep. I think that this mid lane is very volatile right now. I think Weehaw definitely has some kill potential right now. Is level 5, has Diabolic Edict, and a haste rune, so may try and get a kill on Rose here, but thinking better of it, just playing safe. I'm gonna go farm this wave under his tower, but after this wave and a little bit of the next one, he'll have level 6, so E's gonna have to be extremely careful that he doesn't go down in this lane. As giving his Lash a good start in this game is gonna very, very difficult for NP to deal with. So you can see Alchemist just zoned back, not even able to come to the lane. He's had a lot of XP denied. Wyvern sharing his XP in a couple of waves, and Soxa constantly doing these clowny ancient pulls, so only level 4 in the Alchemist, while almost level 6 on Lash, so not the start that NP necessarily wanted in lanes, although MSS is sort of their shining hope right now, who's having a really nice start in soft mid. As I say that, it goes down.
First blood? What is this? I came here to be tested.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
They hit level 4 on Jakiro, is also up to level 2 Liquid Fire, and just going to slowly chip on this tower with MSS going down. Just TP back and is going to Midnight Pulse this, so probably going to stop him from making this push as the creeps are going to be drawn off. But yeah, I think DC is definitely happy with that. The Alchemist going down first, not getting any XP from that, still level 5, and also not getting any gold as he didn't get the kill. Forces both the supports to rotate, so now Moon has a better time bottom, almost up to his arcane move, just continuing to spam with his waves. So the Lone Druid here that's normally very, very strong at punishing solo heroes isn't really able to do too much for him.
Back to the impurities.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
This outrage.
Yeah, they have to keep him from just being able to be this aggressive and not getting punished. We going 2-4-0, so getting the 4th point of Diabolic Edict instead of maxing the stun earlier on. A pretty standard build.
Radiant's top tower.
We're really coming into fruition here, so they take the tower 6 minutes in. See already, he no longer with a tower here. Weehaw's not going to shove this lane out too much, so he is going to kill these creeps. We're probably going to go back and block this up.
Radiant structures.
And the wave going to be near his hill, and E's really not able to come to this lane. He's going for the treads first, and is getting some of these bounty runes, so not the worst thing in the world. Almost is level 6, but we already left a level 8 compared to Envy's current level 5, so as well as Resolution having a much better start, a small lead in CS over Aoi, and taking this top tower now as well, even though they do get the deny. Definitely the kind of start that DC wants for this laning stage. I think a lot of it is going to come down to how they're able to defend these pushes, how they maneuver around the map, and if they can trade
Dire's
towers
middle
effectively.
tower is under attack.
It looks like DC is going for a rotation down here, so we pairing up with Moon Meander. They do have the level 2 in the root, so 1.2 seconds, enough time to get the stun off, most probably. So they may be able to set up a kill down here on Aoi, but like I said, I do think it comes down to how they maneuver around the map. They have the heroes in the right places, defending these towers. I think a lot of it comes down to Rose, and if he's able to can stay set up, not go down, keep these lanes out as much as he can with the Splinter Blast. He's working up towards those arcanes, and with the arcane aura, has almost infinite spam on this Splinter Blast. With the insane range of that spell, is going to be pretty good at keeping these towers alive, just constantly spamming the waves out. We'll have to see. If Aoi goes down here, they'll lose this bottom tower, and things could start looking a lot grimmer very quickly, or more grim, excuse me. Yeah, I think sort of the issue with that though is you don't really want all three of those heroes to be there. You only want this Splinter Wyvern to be there, and it's pretty easy to force him off the tower if you just walk behind. As you know, they're doing that right now, forcing Aoi back into the trees. Just Edict, the bear getting quite low, and probably gonna take the tower. Yeah, they just don't have the resources to bring down here. If MSS tries to rotate, go for a gank, it's gonna slow down his mech tremendously, which they really need. Have some shot of taking these fights like we talked about. Moon getting very, very close to his mech, and MSS falling a little bit behind just because all these towers going down. So, you know, that's sort of the issue. They can't rotate all these heroes around, or all their lanes will get pushed in if they TP a bunch of heroes down to bottom. Resolution getting pretty low top from all these Splinter Blasts. So, Rose doing a nice job of making this top lane feel unsafe for DC as everyone rotates up here. So it looks like they're going to try and make a move to get a kill in Resolution and take this tower. But they're just looking for something, because they can't really come down to this bottom lane or they'll be trapped and all their other lanes will be shoved in.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it was a very nice stun in the trees. They figured where he was to get the kill, and now they're going to be able to push this lane back out with enough mana to get this out. Rose not having any of that is going to continue to just sit here like we talked about and spam these lanes out. So you see from grouping up and taking down these towers, it's going to be very difficult as Moon almost has the mech, so once they have that, going to start just pushing out these lanes really, really quickly with their Lash, their Underlord, heroes that, you know, kill these lanes extremely quickly, and then just going to be able to walk down, move around the map, just 5-man down these towers, and there's not too much NP can do about it. It's just, EE still working on that armlet, has some decent net worth, but only second in the net worth list from the top, so you really want the Alchemist to be on top whenever you do pick this hero, and not a hero that does well at all from behind. Yeah, I mean, the pulls by Sox, though, were just absolutely huge. This Alchemist falling behind on levels. Whenever you fall behind in levels versus heroes like Leshrac, heroes that have a lot of kill potential whenever they're up on levels than you. It works that way with a lot of Alchemist lanes. If he doesn't get to his level 6 around the time that you do, or even earlier, yeah, just using the black hole wherever they can, getting some pick-me-up kills, get a little gold boost, as they really need to make stuff happen, and just, you know, killing one hero, using the black hole, not the biggest deal in the world, as DC does have plenty of ways to cancel it, so until he has a BKB, it's not really going to be super useful in these team fights, and just gets a little gold boost, is going to have the mech just a second now, so MSS has it around the similar time as when we enter, minus the arcane boost, so still doing quite well for himself. Soaring instead, so we do have the mech now in a little bit better fighting shape as how he looks like he is going for that Helm of the Dominator talked about in the draft. Does it?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world. They do get at least that mid tower, buying a little bit more time for Envy, and this is just kind of the stuff they have to do, the position they're in.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Set Rose up, get him pushing these lanes as much as possible, but this Underlord having that maneuverability makes it really, really difficult for NP to keep the lanes in a favorable position so they can move around the map as they want. One of the biggest advantages of that hero is you can always be with your team, so stopping all this split push, sitting at the tower, just constantly shoving these waves out is almost no hero can push into Firestorm early on in the game, or even as the game goes later, because those scale percentage-wise. So, DC very, very happy with how the game is going now, as we close the Bloodstone as well, only one part away. They do trade heroes, we going down, so a nice kill for NP, continuing to defend these towers. But if you look at all the lanes, like we talked about, DC has so many good lane pushers, even the supports, totally fine with just sitting in a lane and pushing them in. And DC know exactly where everyone is because they have so much information while these creeps pushed in, and able to play around it. Just continuing to outfarm them all around the map. Even though they have this Alchemist behind on gold, not the position you want to be in. It's Resolution, top net worth with the Dragonlance and the HOD now.
A tithe to the impurities.
Yeah, if we look at Moon's quick buy as well, he's going for the Radiance, so he's sort of going on that trend of keeping the lanes out. It's going to be some very, very nice AoE magic damage, as if you look at NP's heroes, none of these heroes really want to buy BKB that badly. MSS wants to get one eventually, but Lone Druid, not a hero that likes to get a BKB. The Radiance will make this bear miss, so not able to root constantly, going to decrease his chances greatly. I think it's really good versus the Lone Druid in that sense, also good versus just the Lone Druid's right clicks. The miss chance is going to be huge. Like we said, getting these lanes out, just the AoE damage makes this Alchemist miss overall. If he does end up going for this Radiance, it's pretty early on. Does still need a lot of gold, but also lets DC scale later. As NP, the Alchemist can be a very good late game hero depending on the heroes the other team has, but traditionally, versus some more traditional carries or versus a whole lot of magic damage, versus a lot of these lane shovers, if he doesn't have the lanes in a favorable position, can be rough for him. Yeah, and like I said, it'll be a while before he picks this up. If he does at all, he may choose to go for something else, but it'd be kind of cool if he did. It's a nice solution to this Lone Druid. And just overall, you're never really sad if someone has a Radiance on your team. Just overall, just a very good item. Just kind of expensive and hard to build up to, but Underlord, hero that farms very fast for an offlaner, so hero that can actually build up to it without too much trouble.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now with that tier 2 down bottom, just continuing to move around the map, Misery, just shoving out these mid waves, hasn't really been with his team that much at all. Already up to level 10 on the support Jakiro with the Yules as well, so pushing out these lanes, and an NP, not a lot of heroes with catch on their team. They're very, very focused on this team fight, playing around this Lone Druid. And DC doesn't have the most slippery heroes, but their lane pushers are just so good that NP is never really able to make anything happen if they have to show a lot of heroes on the map at all times. So it's super obvious where all the heroes are, and DC just able to continue to move around the map and outfarm them, even without super mobile heroes like the Ember or Storm, stuff like that, for Weeha, having this more slow and deliberate hero of Lesh, but still able to have that same effect and getting really farmed. Already has the Bloodstone and 1,300 gold working towards the Blink.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, especially since that's the last tier 2, so immediately gonna go to these shrines. Edate's one of the best spells in the games at killing the shrines, so it's gonna go down very, very quickly, and they should still be able to defend this bottom tower. As actually, Underlord and Lesh both don't have TPs, so Misery going down there to Macro Pirate should be enough to defend. Just have so many heroes that can just stop them from walking up to these towers like this. And NP can have a really, really hard time trading and splitting these lanes like this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Plus 300. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but sometimes it's just not something you can really stop from happening. They're very, very easy to go down. This liquid fire is super good versus. You can just never really return it. Does is just always getting that constant tick damage. With we having the blink now as well, sort of like we talked about, them not really having a super mobile hero to push up really far in those lanes, but having the blink now is able to be very, very safe. As no blinks on MP and blinks to come for a decent amount of time. Looks like MSS is going for that, so it'll give DC a little bit of pickup potential in their no catch heroes team, but both their shrines down now, their map control is going to be massively suffering as they do have this nice deep ward in top for DC, so able to see whenever heroes are running up and down these lanes, and this one here showing whenever they're running into their jungle. So DC just holding control of the entire map, as Envy trying to push up top, get as much as he can, push up these lanes as far as possible, but DC continuing to get the better end of the farm trade, even though EE does have the radiance up now. Yeah, I think it'll most probably just be the typical builds. You know, the Mantle Octree and those kinds of items. He may go for something like a Blink, but that's sort of risky, as if he doesn't really get kills with it, then he'll be in kind of a rough position, but maybe he can try for some sort of a Wombo combo with the Enigma Blink Dagger. And that's sort of what they have to play for at this point. Just get their lanes out as far as they can and wait for DC to make some move towards their base, smoke out, and maybe try and take a fight. While DC is all clumped up, but with Moon is going for the Radiance, has a Sacred Relic now, is going to cancel MSS's Blink, or at least make it annoying for him to position himself in these fights as well. So just continuing to stack the odds up in their favor for DC, as Resolution has the BKB now as well and working towards the MKB. Yeah, these supports really don't have the tools to deal with the Radiance. You know, like I said before, they just don't have much damage on NP whenever they're behind like this. They really need this Lone Druid to be farmed and sort of protect him, have these teamfight control spells to enable the Lone Druid, sort of what their draft does, but...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice fight for MP, and that's exactly the kind of stuff they have to do. Use the black hole. Did it in the perfect spot as well, where the Rubik wasn't in range to steal it. Turned around, couldn't disable it as well. Telekinesis, Weehaw, going for some other heroes on the sideline. So this very, very strange split fight, and MP taking advantage of it, getting a couple kills, out getting both of them, so sort of clawing themselves back onto the map, and that's kind of stuff you have to do. EE farming top. All the meanwhile, like you said, has the Yash up now, 1,000 gold, so working towards the Radiance. And NP will have a timing where whenever EE does have a considerable amount of items, AOI has some right-clicking strength up, they have that black hole, they will have some very strong team fights. They kill Misery again and probably going to get this top tower as well.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
A tithe to the impurities.
Yeah, I don't think he realized how many people were there. He blinked in. He only saw a couple with the sword, or figured just the Lone Druid was there, something like that. Blinked in, wasn't able to get his edict off, so wasn't really doing too much damage. And Yusa does go down, loses some bloodstone charge, used the deny at least, so NP not getting any gold for that. Just a little bit of an irritation for Weehaw, but does have the Yules now, so he's not really lacking too much in the mana region department, but he's level 15, so maybe able to get this kill down here on Aoi with the Yules. No TP on Aoi. Yeah, they do clean up resolution on top though, so trading carry for carry across the map, and able to shove in this top lane super far as well, so has the Manta up now, and actually looking pretty good, up to the 16k net worth now, slowly working towards that Octarine, up to 1700 gold as well, so almost has does have the Radiance now on Moon, and they still have extremely good team fight, but the E getting a lot more of these items, they will have some nice front line between the Enigma and the Alchemist for this Lone Druid to throw those shots in. The Enigma working towards BKB as well now, having the Ogre Club and 1k gold. So with that, people will have some extremely strong team fight, although it will be on some pretty long cooldowns.
You hear me telling you to throw it?
Yeah, it has the ultimate, so any of that chip damage doesn't really bother him at all. 2.6k gold now, just continuing to rack up the money. Having some very nice GPM at this point, is they really don't have the heroes to punish him. So we sort of talked about NP not really having the greatest catch heroes, but the same goes for DC, having very, very much just a lot of 5-man heroes, and we sort of trying to counteract that by getting the Blink and the Yules, so getting some pick off in there, integrating it into their lineup somehow, but NP still able to push out these lanes without too much risk, unless they get a little bit unlucky, like with the Invis rune down bottom on Wii. Other than that, Yeah, I don't think the soul injury needs to be super interactive in these fights. You know, there are only 9 kills on DC's side, so not a super kill happy game. Just a lot of lane pushing, backing up, playing safe, and farming up is not like we said. Neither team really with heroes that can make moves super well. And yeah, just continue to farm up. Gyrocopter, not a very mobile hero, so just pushing out these lanes. It is quite farmed. Has the Demon Edge working towards the MKB, so it's gonna have it pretty soon. Gonna counteract the Radiance. And this Gyrocopter, and he, does not have the heroes to deal with him if he gets, a lot of farm this game. So this is one of the few games where Gyrocopter can actually do really well late game. As well, when he gets level 25 with the extra flat cannon attacks, can be extremely strong and actually, maybe trade hits with this Lone Druid, or at least be able to hit him with the 10 flat cannon hits. So it doesn't have to be right up in his face, can be a little bit farther away, just flacking onto him. Could be a decent solution as the game goes later.
I'm burning up! Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Share my torment.
Yep, they do only lose the CM, get Misery, force the Dark Rift up to top, and he immediately back down to bottom, has the enough gold for the Octarine core now as well, 6k gold in this Alchemist. And make it even easier to shove out these lanes, and NP have a pretty strong timing right now. Only really missing the BKB and MSS for their teamfight capability to be sort of maxed out.
Tell the ogre you're sorry.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the first 2 minutes looking pretty grim for NP, but after that, not really giving up any kills at all. AOI going down 1 time at bottom. But other than that, just continuing to farm up, push out these lanes. The Lone Druid, so strong, just so much damage. Absolutely shredded the Gyrocopter and the Underlord in that last fight as he was off to the side. No one really able to pressure him or get on top of him as he is just so fast with the phase boots, running at 536. So able to just constantly throw these attacks in, almost has the BKB now as well, so NP's teamfight is going to be extremely strong, and if they can get these lanes out and find a good initiation with smoke or something like that, he can be in a really good position as NP, I think, is very comfortable with how the game is going right now for them. Yeah, just pick up the Blade Mail now in E, so continuing to build on sort of that style of just running in, giving space to his Lone Druid to get these right clicks off. DC, you can see they kind of want to make a move, all migrating together. It looks like they don't have a smoke on the courier. Sox doesn't have one as well, so not able to smoke up because they don't have one on either of the heroes, but staying together, playing on this Roshan as they realize it's extremely important right now. Whichever team gets that will have a much better chance. They really can't give this away to the Lone Druid, or they'll really have no way to kill him. But if they can't get that on Resolution or into Weeha, then they'll have a much better time in these fights. Will actually be able to run into NP without too much fear of them just getting gunned down by the Sniper Druid. Yeah, I mean, they just don't want to have the heroes to do that. Enigma, really their only initiator, and not a hero that you want to just jump immediately into the fight, as DC does have a lot of ways to counterplay it. Oh! Yeah, very nice turnaround in that fight. The Lone Druid already up. This has a very balanced level 20 talent. So, not going to be able to get any racks off of this DC, but a very, very nice turnaround in this fight. Just playing around the Lone Druid extremely well, going in and out, not letting him get a lot of right clicks off. Just continuing to pressure and bounce in and out, getting these stuns off. So he didn't have the BKB in that fight, but does have it now. I think he had used it earlier in the fight. So MSS just barely whiffing the black hole. DC's hero sort of going in a delta split and not able to catch anyone, but still going pretty well for NP at the start of the fight. But after it sort of devolved into this more skirmishy style, DC taking advantage of it quite a bit. So pulling it back to not the worst fight in the world. I also don't think DC is the most worried right now. The Lone Druid is going to be very, very strong later on. And NP does have some extremely strong team fight, but so does DC. So I think this game, a lot of it does come down to execution in these team fights and how they go down. Although NP does have slightly better team fight ultimates, and that's sort of DC's forte is as well, but I would say NP is slightly better, so I think DC is definitely going to have to execute extremely well in these fights for them to go well for them, like they did in that last one. Have to keep executing like that, or this game's going to get really difficult really quickly as the Lone Druid working towards the Scotty, so it's going to be extremely tanky, and you'll be able to continue to just punish this Gyrocopter, who's really not had the biggest impact in this game. Kind of a subpar hero compared to how good this Lone Druid is right now. Yeah, it was really nice. Looks like Moon's going for this AC, so not going for the Shivas. Looks like Hui's going to be going for that. So building up several armor items going to help deal with this Lone Druid at least a little bit. You know, some of these nice auras gonna help the Gyro stay alive. It's not a hero that typically builds armor items. Only has 14 right now, so kind of gets pummeled by the Lone Druid. Is going for the Satanic, so sort of fixing that a little bit. Gonna try and beef up his tankiness. As NP just sort of migrating down to this bottom lane. Maybe looking for a fight here. Is we pretty far up. Gets rooted, I mean gets roared, but not lucky enough to get a root as he will just trot away. Does have the Shivas not completed on the Lesh, so sitting very pretty resolution. Instead of working towards the Satanic, and sort of a stalemate right now, pushing out these lanes, both teams waiting for their big ults to come back up, or at least NP is. The Black Hole not quite up, 40 seconds left, as they are dark rifting to top lanes. Looks like they do want to take a fight here. We hope that the bots can be here at any time. I'm not sure if it shows up on the mini-map. I don't think it does. It does not. No, they didn't see him casting. The creep was out of vision for them. play from me, killing him on the side, so their biggest teamfight spell is down, and NP's Chemical Rage is down for 5 seconds now as well, so they need to back up. So they really don't want to fight without this Enigma. A fight that it looked like it could have gone very, very sour in the beginning, but MSS getting caught there on the side by Wii, sort of saving that fight that could have gone disastrously. The Gyrocopter, yeah, the Gyrocopter just continuing to just not have the biggest impact, sort of a rough hero. Getting really just kited by a lot of NPCs here. You can sort of see it. EE with this blade mail just runs in and they really have no way to deal with him at all. They just have to walk away and let him just stand there. Pummels down Rubik, not much they can do. So getting that kill really saved the fight for DC. Really nice play from Weeha.
That should help.
Probably either Enigma or CM. What's CM's again? Is it the... Okay, the old one was better, I think. 2.5 seconds is a long time to be in that ultimate and not have popped BKB or something. I think the old one was actually better. But we getting caught out a little bit.
Impurities.
Yeah, MSS catching him with the Malithus. Just have the Guardian Greaves now as well on MSS, so a little bit more armor. Not having the mana cost, so won't have issues casting his black holes. Sometimes as you level that spell up, you'll have issues dealing with that huge mana cost, 400, as well as popping mech and all the other items, as well as your other spells. They are all plus 150 plus mana. So with the Guardian Greaves, won't have issues with his mana pool ever at all. So is going to be able to take these fights just fine. Going for the Lincolns now as well. So with the Lincolns and the BKB pop, DC will have no way to cancel the black hole, and it's going to be really hard for them to play around that. Yeah, almost impossible to land it, to time it perfectly whenever he's lands down Yules. As long as he clicks in the direction he's facing, he'll almost always make the blink. You have to have something sitting under him, like a Storm Remnant or a Tornado, and even then sometimes you can get out, so. Doesn't make it out from the Yules. As NP just back to farming. EE almost up to that first Ags. EE. Good night. AUI finishing up the Scotty now, so and add some more kiting potential to these fights. And EC's sort of falling behind a little bit. They are still getting up some items. Misery going for the Midas this game, so realizing this game is probably going to go late, and they have a lot of magic damage heroes on their team, not a lot of typical cores or heroes you think go amazingly well late game whenever paired together. But
this'll come in handy.
yeah, the thing about these games that go later, but there's teams with just a whole lot of magic damage. A lot of it just does come down to initiation and how you can play in and out so you can get the most spells off. But Resolution looks like he's gonna get caught here. Not really the hero you want to go on, as he does now have the Satanic and the BKB. He's gonna get Scotty down. Yeah, just that constant threat of the black hole. They just really can't deal with it. You have to play super passive and kite around as MSS just always has it ready and waiting.
Your spirit achieves final.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's
Yeah, and no
top tower
buybacks now on
has
DC,
fallen.
so they may be able to take the racks here with Misery throwing down the macro power, but not going to be able to kill these creeps in time before the backdoor regeneration does get turned off. I was trying to save one of the creeps with the heal, but not able to do it in time. But with no buybacks on DC and Idle are still down for 25, looks like they are going to lose a set of racks here. So NP
Dire's top barracks
gone
are
from
under attack.
being in a rough position, losing all their shrines in around 15 minutes, to now being in the driver's seat.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Indeed.
Damage.
Yeah, they really need to make sure they get this next Roshan. They can't give it to NP. They have no way at all to deal with this Laundry if he has an Aegis, let alone 1 life. It's hard enough to deal with, so 2, it's just not really something they can deal with. So gonna be looking to get in these silence, maybe force an NP rotation somewhere, get a pick off around that Roshan time, and then try and take a fight around the Rosh, get Aegis, and then they can sort of play the game from there. It's definitely gonna be an uphill battle. It's just they just really don't have ways to get on top of this Laundry. They wanted to punish him early, tickle his towers, and then maybe just sort of snowball the game, but that plan kind of falling apart. Is NP not really giving up too many kills, picking a lot of deep push heroes. This Alchemist, after having a rough start, getting all these items up and just being this frontline hero, and DC really not having the right clickers to deal with him. Not able to melt him down like you can to a lot of Alchemists as the game goes later and later. Not an amazing late game hero, but just kind of untouchable now with the AC as well as this Blade Mail. Has so much armor, so much HP regen, and we said DC just not really with any right clickers, not really with a way to bring him down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of damage. Because both teams know the Roshan as well. They had HOD creeps in there. But yeah, getting kind of chipped down here.
Unnatural death.
Yeah, was trying his best to get this top line in, but got hit one time by the Lone Druid, then he's Scotty, then he has to walk all the way up to try and use the Lone Druid, and then gets roared back. Just getting kited around masterfully, and now NP gonna take this Roshan. EY putting this HOD into his backpack. And now with that Aegis, they're gonna have an extremely hard time dealing with this Lone Druid. They may just try and get their lanes out real quick. You can see DC not really wanting to let them just walk down a lane. Misery trying to cut these waves, TPing the bottom to try and get them out, and NP just immediately running across the map to try and counter DC's movements, keep them from getting these lanes out and defending them. Mumian are getting an illusion rune, so trying to cut the waves with his radiance. But EE guarding this wave, walking him down the lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, so they do get the T2, now they have access to the shrine, so it looks like Aoi's gonna finish that up while they are all just gonna get back, play it safe.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
here.
Yep, a nice couple of kills. They defend their lanes, but Weehaw immediately running back down in this bottom lane, so DC going to try and keep NP from getting down these lanes as much as possible. Having the Lincolns now as well in MSS, so and now working towards the refresher orb, so extremely hard for DC team fight them, because as well the Lone Druid having the Aegis, so just going to continue to try and split push, keep these lanes out as much as possible, and force NP to react. Weehaw almost with the level 25 talent, so he's going to have the plus 50 Diabolic Edict ticks, so if he does get in a position where they're trading racks or he's able to set up and maybe split push a little bit, can kill these buildings extremely quickly, so MP has to be very, very careful while keeping these lanes out. And while they would like to just walk down a lane and, you know, take the game straight forward, go get a racks with this Aegis, DC is not going to let them do that, and it's going to draw this game out and look for opportunities as the game goes later, as late game Dota can be quite unpredictable. Yeah, they get the lanes out. They get the kill, they get the lanes out, and now, without Weehaw, and not a lot of these other heroes in position to push at the lanes, only Misery really shoving in this top lane, and Rose going to counteract that. They are trying to position around mid, trying to get to the racks. DC continuing just try and slow it down. You can see Weehaw just pushed up extremely far in this bottom lane, trying to get this wave out as soon as possible, but they are going to lose their shrines now, so NP losing their shrines very early on, and now DC going to lose theirs considerably later in the game, as he is definitely in control right now. Getting a heal ward up on this left side for DC, so looking for any heroes setting up here allows them to split push even better, so you can see just continuing to try and get these lanes out as much as possible.
That should help.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He's going for the EB Dagon, so they realize that if they're going to win this game, it's going to be going late. And a third of late Dagon is one of the best combinations for late game Dota, as you can always just burst random heroes at any point. You can get an Octarine core maybe as the game goes even later. Will have an extremely low respawn time, as his level 25 is the minus 50-second respawn timer, so it's going to sort of be always off, going to be able to Dagon people down, as he does have the level 1 Dagon now. So I actually like this build quite a bit, and it gives them sort of a chance to give them some more damage, which they thoroughly lack right now. But yeah, they force everyone back, not wanting to risk anything, as they know they are in control right now. The Lone Druid still has room to grow, has a Demon Edge in his stash. 3.6k gold, so going to be finishing up that MKB. Almost 6 slotted on this Lone Druid. Immediately just running across the map, trying to get these lanes out as fast as possible. You can see Rose heading to top lane, playing around his team as they finish off this last shrine. Rose going Midas as well. So having quite a bit of items. The Blink, Glimmer Cape, Pipe. Now it looks like working towards an Aether Lens as well, or just having the casual energy booster. Yeah, that plus 50 Edict ticks going to work at top lane, almost finishing up that tower and forcing NP back, almost killing Rose just a half a second. And is able to blink away after the Winner's Curse, so Weehaw putting in some really good split push and forcing NP back even after getting a couple of kills, not immediately to get the racks. Oh!
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yep, no buyback on the Gyrocopter, no buyback on the Underlord.
Dire's
And they just really don't have the damage to take this fight. The Laundry just too strong, has buyback on all of their heroes as well, so if they do lose a fight, they can TP back in, take the throne. So DC deciding to just call it now, as they had a very clear plan from their draft, but not really able